Amnesty International has urged Houthis to immediately release 4 journalists who have been detained in the rebel jails for more than 5 years now. They are even at risk of being sentenced to death. This report has more details.
Amnesty International has urged the Houthi rebels to free 4 journalists who are facing the death penalty in the war-torn country, ahead of an appeal court that will be taking place on Sunday. The 4 journalists were abducted in June 2015 in the capital Sana'a, and since this date, they were deprived of every means of life, even seeing the sun. Their arrest was motivated by their reporting on human rights violations committed by Houthi forces, according to the International Federation of Journalists and the Yemeni Journalist Syndicate statements. The rights group mentioned in a statement early on Friday that the Houthi leaders must quash the death sentences and implement the immediate release of the 4 Yemeni journalists who are facing execution following a grossly unfair trial. In April 2020, the Houthi court sentenced the 4 journalists to death and claimed that the journalists were arrested on charges of treason and spying for foreign states. However, the militia is just trying to conceal its crimes from the world through its endeavors to repress journalism and freedom of speech. Amnesty's Middle East and North Africa Deputy Director said that this has been a shame of a trial since the beginning and has further borne a terrible toll on the men and their families, according to her statement. At the time of their trial, Amnesty criticized their sentencing on trumped-up charges, while Reporters Without Borders organization has described the verdict as a totally unacceptable one. What has worsened the situation is that one of the detained men is in a critical health condition with heart and other diseases. So Amnesty organization has requested medical care provision for the journalists, pending their overdue release. And they have further mentioned that the denial of medical treatment for the seriously ill is an act of cruelty, which amounts to torture and other unpleasant treatment. An appeal is going to be heard by the Specialized Criminal Appeals Division in Sana'a on Sunday, in an attempt to rescue those journalists and return life back to them.